Studio here in Atlanta, Georgia. Today I'm prepping some clay because I'm working on throwing some pieces for a dinnerware set. I have someone who had requested a dinnerware set within the past year and did some dinner plates and mugs, and now they're asking about saucers and bread plates and other pieces of the set. So any set starts with weighing out clay to make them the same size. And I am going to start with some 3-pound balls of clay. These will be for like that should be way more than, what? Let's see, unit. Oh my gosh, that's only 2 pounds. So adding 1 more pound. 3 pounds is a lot bigger than I remember it to be. Boom. So I'm going to weigh all this out, wedge it up. You're welcome to hang while I wedge. You're welcome to drop some questions in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe because I am a huge clay enthusiast and I've been building this pottery world of mine for a long time. And part of that is bringing back my online show, Throwing with Molly, where I bring on guests who may or may not have thrown or worked with clay. And we chat and we throw, and it's really fun. And I'm excited to be bringing that back. I also have instructional videos because I am a former high school ceramics teacher, taught hand building and wheel throwing to beginners, to advanced. And so, yeah, welcome. Now, I'm in America here, and we do use pounds. The rest of the world uses grams. So I'll tell you in grams too what this is coming out to. 3 pounds, a little bit more, is, let's switch the units to grams. 130 or 1,360 grams. 3 pounds. Let's stick with pounds. Pounds. Okay, this is going to be too many. Now I am excited that this order has come in because really getting this studio open, this is my dream studio. Let me show you real quick in case you haven't seen. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, wheels for everyone. Look at this, shells for everyone. And down there is glaze work coming out. Put y'all back over here. Because in this studio, I teach people. I love teaching. I think who doesn't love clay? It's the mantra because I think everybody loves clay. It comes from the ground. It's been in every civilization since the start of any civilization. Anywhere in the globe, it comes from the earth. So we all love it. And I believe it's just a matter of learning how to work with it. So we do classes here. We do one-time classes that are fun for like date night, girl nights, solo adventures, if you're just looking to get out and do something. And we are in Atlanta. And then we've just launched 4-week classes. If you want to get in a little further than a little bit. If you want to get in a little further than the one-time workshops, we have 4-week wheel throwing, 4-week hand building. And through that longer amount of time, you can really get into the creative process of it all. Clay really is like learning to ride a bike. It looks so easy, and then you try it, and you have to fail a few times before it clicks, and you can just ride off into the sunset. So through our 8-week classes, we teach you all the things, and by the end, we celebrate our students with an 8-week student art show. We bring out a red carpet. Literally, we invite all of the friends and family to celebrate the work that's been done over the 8 weeks. Most of our students take the 8-week class several times to really build their confidence as an artist, their voice as an artist, working with clay. And then we haven't even started it yet, launching in March. Our first ever independent studies track. So for our students who have taken the 8-week class, they know the flow of the studio and they just need time to work independently without the rigor of the deadlines of the art show. Because if you know clay, it is all about a deadline. You can't just make it and have it finished that same day. So the 8 weeks, it is a rigorous program. And again, I am a former high school ceramics teacher, so we run on a curriculum. Week 1, we do hand building. And even the people who come in just wanting to do the wheel, because the wheel is like the magical thing that everybody sees. Once people learn hand building, they usually tend to incorporate both, because they're both equally successful methods of creating with clay. And that's why in this studio, I think one of the special things is we teach it all, hand building and wheel throwing, to all levels. Beginners who have never done it to advanced with degrees. Literally, we have some students with ceramic degrees, and we all learn and grow together. And I mean, I tell you what, these beginner students, I still don't believe that some of them are beginners, because when you see their work, I don't think you'd believe them either. Just outstanding. And it's fun. The art teacher in me, I just love seeing everybody's own individual artistic voice shine through. You know, some people like sculpting, some people like functional wear, some like sculptural wear, some like muted colors, some like bright colors. So it's just fun. So that's our 8-week Clay 101 and beyond. And everything is starting here next week. So if you're in Atlanta, looking to get creative, looking to join a community of new friends, new creatives, look no further. We're here. Whoop. All right, so I'm doing 3 pounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's go for 14. 14. Gotta really get this clay eyeballed better. 3 pounds. Because again, if you're doing a set, I avoided measuring clay for like the whole first part of my practice. I did not want to measure. You could not get me to measure anything. But now, if you're doing a set, you really do need to measure. It's the only way you can make them consistent. If you're just guessing how much clay you've got, chances are they're not going to be twins. They will definitely be more like cousins. So if you're trying to make twins, at least start with weighing the same amount. Then you want to open the same amount. You want to do everything the same amount. A little bit more. Too much. Perfect. I guess we'll figure out how many we can get out of. So this is 2 25-pound blocks of clay. That's 50 pounds divided by 3 should be how many balls we can get. So 50 divided by 3 is what, guys? Internet, tell me. Let's see who's out there. Let's see. Go to the live comments. 50 divided by 3. Who knows it first? I'm going to do it in my head. 1, like 16. Whoop. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I might be able to get 17. Wouldn't that be interesting? Oh, 3 on the dot. And then what is left over? 3.12. So let's just skim some off. All right, just this little bit left over. I don't know how that worked out, but we did that. All right, now it's time, now that these are weighed, to wedge them, put them in a ball, and get them to the studio. So here we go, wedging. And you've got a wedge, even if it's brand new, you know, like this is pretty fresh, but obviously I weighed it, so it's not a one cohesive piece of clay. And also, when it comes fresh out of that pugged clay, the outside edges are usually still a bit stiff, and as you wedge it, it really starts to loosen up the clay. Like that's really stiff. 2, 3, 4, and that's getting soft. And people are always like, well, how many times should you wedge? And the answer is always, it depends on your clay. This really is starting pretty homogenized and well mixed. So I shouldn't need to do much, but like this hunk that I piecemealed it together to get just 3 pounds. Because if you're just tuning in, I'm Molly Sanyour. We're prepping clay for a dinnerware set. We're expanding a dinnerware set. We've only done the dinner plates. These 3-pounders will be those kind of middle plates, and really these might be too big. I should probably do 2.5 pounds. But here we are, 3 pounds. And I really do also need to write down what I'm doing, because now that I'm settled in the studio, before this studio, I was in my home studio in Richmond, Virginia, and I really pretty much made all my dinnerware stuff for me. So it's okay if it wasn't like precise, but I could just keep adding to it because it was just my same clay body, my same color glaze, and I would do my signature lip. And so now I have dinner plates, spread plates, dessert plates, mise en place bowls, servingware, all kinds of things. But if somebody else is like, hey, can I add more to that? If I don't know how many pounds I started with, if I haven't kept record, it's harder to match exactly. And I have a lot of videos on how to wedge, but basically you're gripping it. This is the ram's head, so it's like 1 block at a time, and I'm pushing away with the meat of the palm while gripping. And then it kind of looks like that, and then I pull it back up towards me, grip it, elbows, rock away. Roll it back up towards me, grip it, thumbs are connected, and rock away. And this method of wedging, for those who might not know, it's called the ram's head because if you do it, it starts to look like a ram. There's also spiral wedging and other methods. And then I do just kind of tap it round to make my life on the wheel easier. Now, for this set, they only want 7, which I think is kind of an odd number for a place setting. I feel like it's usually 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. But I'm going to make more in case one breaks, cracks. Right. Let's see how many we got. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. So if I can fit one more in this bag. And really, it is a thing of sensory. So you can feel as the clay goes from stiff being in that bag to loose and fresh as you wedge it. All right, so this bag is ready. Just put this over here. I can take it back to the studio. And then we've got these. Y'all probably can't see. There we go. 1, 2. Got these. Got lots of them. Grip, rock away, grip, rock away, grip. Prepping clay, prepping clay. These are going to be dinnerware. These will be like the salad plates. I'm also tempted to do like the bowl plates. Maybe I weigh out more 3-pound balls. Some become the bowl plates, some become plates. And then I need to do saucers, but that would be a lesser amount of clay. Only like 1.5 pounds maybe for the saucers. That's probably too big. I want to experiment. But I've done this size before, so I know I need 3 pounds. Thanks for tuning in. Molly Sanyour here, coming to you live from Molly Sanyour Ceramics Studio in Adair Park, Atlanta, Georgia, where I'm living my dream. Former high school ceramics teacher, had my own basement home studio. Quit my job 2023 at the end of the school year to move here to Atlanta, whole new city, fresh start. And I mean, look at this studio if you're just tuning in. Look at this studio. Welcome there. Over here, hand building, shelves with tools. Look at this wheel island, more shelves. And then Look at all this natural light, and there's a garden out there. So look at all that. If you're in Atlanta, you've got to come take a class. I do pride myself on being able to teach anyone. So if you have any interest, you just have to show up and I can teach you the rest. You don't have to know what you're doing. However, it does help. It helps. If you have experience, you're more than welcome to, because we have potters of all skill levels joining us here. Okay, 3 more from this hunk. I'm debating getting 1 more bag of clay to wedge up. And then we can really get in rhythm. We can do some bread plates. We can do some bowls. So let's say I want 12 of each. And this is a good little workout. And also I'm being mindful that I'm working on the shorter table. Our hand building tables behind me are a little taller, because over there you're more so thinking that you'll sit and work, whereas here you're getting that leverage. So it helps to have it a little shorter for me. And it really is all here in the prep that everything comes to life. So by me sitting here wedging and telling myself what this clay is about to be, it'll help me achieve that on the wheel, because I have a plan. Dinner plate, no, not dinner plates. Salad plates, salad plates. Okay, now let's count how many we have. 2, 4, 6, 8. 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Let me get another bag of clay. Let me stop this. There's a little time left. Let me get a bag. We're using Kentucky Mudworks Iceman Cone 6 stoneware. And I am prepping this into 3 pound balls of clay. Pounds. Let's slice. Let's see if I've gotten better at guessing 3 pounds. Too much. Let me do a little switch over here. And we'll do a little, okay, so this is 3.6. I'm gonna go ahead and slice. This one's got too much. Oop, took off too much. 2.8, 3.1, 2.9, nope, 3 on the dot. Going for those 3 pounds if you're tuning in, doing a dinnerware set. I feel like it's gonna be too big, too small, too big. Just a little back, boom. Let's do this. Cut all these little tops off. All right, 3.2, 3.7. Boom. Much. Boom. Okay, let me stop this. I'm also getting some content over here on my camera to post on the other socials. Okay. 2.9. It's too much, barely. Boom. Right on it. Let's do this one. One more. A little more. A little more. 2.95. That's probably too much. Boom. It's probably too much. 3.09, barely. Let's just take that off. Perfect. And then let's see what we're left with. Too much. A little too much. A little too much. Boom. Okay, that leaves us with 1.42, which I'm just going to put in this other bag. Okay, wrap that up. Now, done with this. Have my old bag. I'm going to wedge and put all the clay in here. Then move it to my studio to throw. Okay, here we go. 1. 2. Let me see if I can start a little video. Okay. This video. Now, there is also spiral wedging, which allows you to wedge a bigger amount of clay, but 3 pounds is pretty good, and this way they're weighed out. So the spiral wedging would mean I'd have to cut them and measure them and then put more inconsistencies. So this method allows me to weigh them, have all of these little inconsistencies, and then the ram's head wedge. I can just get my hands on it, grip, and push away. Try not to smear and put air bubbles in. Try not to have your hands up in the air because you'll make a hot dog instead of a ram's head. So I'm actually gripping and my thumb should stay connected. And then I like to just go ahead and tap those end inconsistencies out. And again, how many times you ram's head? As many as it takes. Like right now I can feel and see all of the inconsistencies. Rock away, rock away, rock away. 2 more. And then I'm just curious again. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 25. Awesome. I can do 12 of each. And again, this is where the success happens, is visualizing, thinking, having a plan. Sometimes when I was a beginner, I would avoid giving myself a plan. But I'm telling myself 3 pounds, salad plates, salad bowls, I'm more likely to knock it out and achieve it. And I am giving myself several extra just in case. This clay is very temperamental. All right, I'm gonna go take these to the studio and get to throwing. If you want to join me live there too, we can just hang on, or I can start a new live. I'll go take these to the studio. I'll be right back. It'll take me a couple trips. I also need to get round bats because these are more round pieces. I'll put clay beside me. I don't need these square bats. Don't know if the microphone still works over here, but I'm back here. Because my studio where I throw is back there. So I can kind of make a mess and then shut the door. I need it. So all these 3-pound balls of clay. And then also, as I'm throwing this set, I have calipers to measure so that not only am I weighing the clay, but I am also going to measure. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to take this one back and then I'll be right back. Maybe I'll bring y'all with me to the studio. If you're in Atlanta, our art show for our students is this Sunday, March 1st, 2 to 4. Come by. We end every 8 weeks with an art show, red carpet and all, to celebrate, which is so fun because most of our students are adults with like real careers and have never done an art show. All right, now I'm gonna get a bunch of bats. These 12-inch rounds are what I want. And then I need to get enough, one for each ball of clay. So I've got a stack of bats here. Okay, need a fresh bucket of water. And if you're tuning in, if you can't see me, I'm out there getting water. Maybe I'll come get y'all now. And filling up my bucket with some water to throw a round of dinnerware pieces to help expand this collection I've been working on. So let me see if I can't bring y'all with me this way. Look, I was recording there. But here's the studio, Atlanta, Georgia. Molly Sanyour Ceramics studio. We hand build, we wheel throw. Beautiful natural light. And then we've got our sink cleanup area. I'm getting some water. Probably turn this off now. Don't need all of that. So I got my water. And then I'm gonna set y'all up in here, the back studio, where I'm setting up my wheel. Oops, for throwing. Sorry for the jiggling you around. We'll get you settled in just a second. Bringing you a little bit more eye level. Bear with me. Here we go. Okay. And from there, hopefully you can see. Whoops. Sorry for the shakery. And then we'll throw a couple here. Oh, I need all my sponge and everything. Might be in here. Nope. I get it. Thanks for coming with me today, guys. It's fun to kind of throw and go live and chat. So if you have questions, just drop them. Grabbing a couple sponges, a green and yellow rib tool, needle tool, wooden knife. And that should be good to get us going. All right, let's do another time lapse here. We'll start that. And then if you are tuning in live, I am Molly Sanyour. I was lucky enough to partner with Speedball Bat to bring y'all their famous iconic plastic bats, but in this beautiful, sleek, black aesthetic. And we partnered up, Molly Sanyour and Speedball. And this is what I always use in my studio They come in different sizes. So today I'm using the 12-inch round. And what I like about using them is it helps me keep track of my sizes too. So I weighed them. Also by using these bats, I kind of keep an eye on how wide I'm opening. Let me see who's calling me. Oh, an unknown number. Are we all getting unknown numbers these days? Let me see if I can start that again. Okay. If you're just tuning in right now, I wedged all of these 3-pound balls of clay. And I will leave this clean and dry. Now that one's hopping around a little bit. We don't love that. They should not hop around. But sometimes depending on how you store them, how you treat them, how your bat pins fit, it could rock around a little bit. All right, got my weighed out clay. Got my bat. I always start by dry tapping the clay to center. Now, depending on how wedged or not wedged this is, I can either cone up and down a few times, make sure it's feeling prepared and ready to become something successful, or I could push it right to center. So I feel a couple inconsistencies. I'm going to squeeze on the clay from the bottom to the top, letting it rotate. You have to be patient because if you just come up, it's satisfying, but see, it gets a little funky. So you always start from the bottom, work your way up to the top. One hand is always the boss, meaning it's anchored in your body. Right now it's my left hand. This one is anchored in my hip. And then usually the other hand, my right hand right here, connects to that anchored hand. And here I'm pressing it down. And it feels smooth enough. I'm going to go ahead and press to center. And because this is a plate, I'm going to keep pressing to center, keep pressing, letting my right hand really open up to extend the circumference. Hands always staying connected. And right now I'm opening to a certain thickness. Okay, my left hand's keeping it centered, my right hand's pulling towards me, and I'm kind of thinking, how thick is it? You never want to throw a plate as thin as you think it should be, because you've got a wire cut, you've got to put a foot on it. So to me, this feels good consistency. Compress that, and then we'll put a little lip on it. Grabbing the clay, pressing out, coming back up, rotate, rotate, rotate. And the thing I love about my plates is giving them this little lip. So as you drag your fork to it, it kind of catches on the lip and helps push that food onto your fork. And then we just want to pull this thin enough. Compress this lip, and then that's it. And then I should give a little wood knife undercut. That's just going to help me get a wire under it later. And that's it. So this one stays beside me, and we'll put another one on. We'll do the same thing, and then I've got my calipers right beside me to measure. And I will say, I tend to throw my pieces on the thicker side, which some people like, some people don't like. You do what you like. And I do tend to trim a lot off, but it's recyclable. Nothing goes to waste. Right? I'm really anchoring up this left hand and putting it in my body and pushing it forward. And then this right hand's going to grab the clay at the base. I'm going to latch on here so I can basically clamp. And I do put a wet sponge, so it doesn't get stuck. And get this clay at the base. That's what you need. You got to get that. So press, clamp, pull. And the purpose of coning up and down is to work out any inconsistencies. It's like wedging on the wheel. Can't do it too many times. And you'll see on this first one, it's got a lot of inconsistencies. See that? We don't like that. That's not a decorative spiral. That's an inconsistency spiral. So I'm going to cone up one more time. The more you let the clay rotate, smoother it will get. Meaning, don't just come up fast. You have to hold it, let it rotate, hold it, let it rotate. Hold it, let it rotate. When you get to the top, we're going to go ahead and press it back down. The right hand can press that down. Left hand's anchoring up. And watch the base. When you see a black circle right there, you know that the anchored hand got all the way to the base and anchored up. And this right hand can press. The fist is pressing. Now that it's wide enough, it can open like a karate chop across the width of the circumference. Pulling this hand towards me, keep my hands connected. And again, with these plates, I'm pressing it down until I get the thickness I want. I'm not pressing this down like an actual thinness of the plate because I need clay to wire cut, to trim a foot, etc. And then anything that you do make low and wide, you want to compress, 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 meaning apply a little pressure as the clay runs under it. So I'm using a sponge here, but really I should probably use just my needle tool. I don't want to leave that in. I should use a rib, and that really strengthens the clay. Okay, and we'll put I like a double sponge. This hand, the right hand, gets the base of the clay and presses. That's going to send that clay wall up. This hand kind of connects right here, and they work together to squeeze the thickness of that clay. And I'm kind of pressing out and round and back in. Compress. And I am going for that little like over curve. And then we'll measure. So I've got this one here. Calipers. I'm going to measure the top of it. I'm going to cut right across. Ooh, this one needs to open up more. That's why we measure. Sponges, wring them out. And I'm just going to compress and open just a little bit. A little more. Round it back in. Okay. This one should open even more. This is where it is nice to, measure 3-4 times, get it right. Because once this clay hardens up, once it's off the wheel, you can't really just fix it. So now is the time. Okay. And then I just like to leave these around it. And then smooth so that food doesn't get stuck anywhere. It's nice, flat, compressed. And then I'll put a wooden knife. And that's going to help me cut a groove under it later. So two salad plates done. Next, and I literally have a stack. This isn't even all of them. Well, it's a lot of them, but I have like a stack of these bats. And as you do plates, the other key is to not only throw them slightly thicker than you think you need them to be, but unlike bowls or cups or things like that you flip as they're drying, I never flip a plate. I will wire cut it several times, let it dry slow, and let it dry on the bat right side up. Okay, let's bring it down. Compress. Compress. At this point, my goal is to make sure that the clay feels level. Right now it's a little high in the center, right there. So I'm being patient. As I move out, I'm watching my pressure, that I'm not pressing harder or easier, that I'm just leveling off. This is where I'll take this rib tool, compress, and then I'll put a sponge from the base, anchor up this hand, press. This inside hand's going to kind of let that clay rise and then squeeze against my fingers, fingers to fingers. Let's kind of see where we are. Oh my gosh, it needs to be so much wider. So let's open this a little bit more. Compress again, flattening it. Patience, check again. Okay. I don't know if y'all heard how I slowed the wheel down. Clean my sponges. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Welcome. Settle in while I'm throwing. I love clay questions. To be honest, it's not showing me, even though I've tapped the live comments and questions. So if you have a question, I love them. Leave it in the comments, and then I'll see it when the video posts. But right now, I'm making a set of salad plates, like medium-sized plates. You have the dinner plates, have the bread plates. These will be the kind of salad middle ground. And actually, this is what got me into clay, was learning that I could make a dish for my dish. Sign me up, like a dinner party, and all the ceramics are made by me. And then also I cook the dishes, and then I make little name card tags and menus printed out. I love it. So I am really excited for this guest, customer, returning client. So many titles to request an addition to their dinner set that I've already started for them. I'm really excited. So not only will I be able to decorate with all my own fancy ceramic dishes, but now people are ordering custom dinnerware, which is so exciting. Now I had an air bubble, so I'm literally popping it. Just stop it and pop it. That's where wedging and coning up and down should have helped, but if you just saw this, I did not cone up and down very much, so patience is a virtue. All right, I'm opening that hand, pulling this out so it feels about the thickness I want. Now I'm going to wring out my sponge and compress. This is a wrung out sponge. Elbows are against my body. Start at center, let it rotate, make your way over. And the pressure that you apply to the surface of the clay is kind of re-strengthening all of those clay particles that got stretched out far and wide. They don't really like that. All right, making my way to center. I still feel in a little air bubble, and you can even see them. So I'm just going to pop and push, and eventually we will also compress this one more time. Okay, compress, compress, compress. Until it feels smooth. I can feel those inconsistencies. Okay, let's put the lip on it. Right hand's digging at the base of the clay, sending the clay upward. Inside the hand is right there to squeeze back. And what you can't see too is that this thumb right here is this hand's pushing this hand, and then this thumb's on top. So everything outside, inside, and on top is holding that clay. Keeping it centered, keeping it compressed. Leaning this back in slightly, and then we'll check with our calipers where, oh, too small. Okay, so to widen it, I'm going to gather some of this clay from inside and press down. And as I do that, it should expand the base. Okay. It's better, but this is what I want to bring in. This is why when you are measuring, you should have the original right by you to check and then to check. So this could get open just a little bit more. So we've got to figure out where that clay is coming from to open this. And this is why when I make a set, I make extra, not just in case something breaks, but also if my measurements are off a bit. All right, we're going to round this back in. We're going to compress this lip and we'll measure. This is dropped. Okay. That looks good. And then we just run this along the base to make my life easier when we wire cut under these. That's 4. Another one. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here and hop on over live on my Instagram, Molly Sanyour Ceramics. We also have an Instagram for the studio, Molly Sanyour Ceramics Studio, where we really highlight our student work over there and studio happenings. So if you're not following us on Instagram, it's Molly Sanyour Ceramics is my page where you might see a time lapse of this. Also have on Instagram, Molly Sanyour Ceramics Studio, and then over on TikTok, Molly Sanyour Ceramics. You'll find kind of a combination of all of the media. And then here on YouTube, you'll see my longer format stuff where, again, Throne of Molly, my internet show where I channel my inner Andy Cohen. I bring a guest on, we throw live, we ask questions. It's really fun. Go check out season 1 and season 2. Season 1 happened all from my basement in Richmond, Virginia, and season 1 was from Richmond, Virginia in my basement. Season 2 was from my Atlanta studio right here. So actually would have the guests join me right here. And for season 3, we're going to launch soon. I'm really trying to figure out how to grow it even more for season 3, like taking it out to the main studio. If you're just joining live, if you haven't seen the main studio, it's a beautiful open space. That would be great to host a guest. It's just a matter of, we make a mess. And after the Throne of Molly, I like to just be able to shut this door and deal with the mess later. Same with me throwing these plates right now. Okay. Kind of compressing this out. Compress, putting pressure to the top of the surface, letting it run under my sponge. Center to 3. Compress. Get my second sponge. I do like a double sponge when I pull. This is feeling narrow. This is where blindfold throwing is a thing. If I were to close my eyes, I can literally feel the bumps, and that's where you should be patient and let it rotate, 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 rotate until you can't. Let it rotate. Be patient. One of our key phrases, rotate, 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 slow release. All right, I'm grabbing this lip, curving it back in, compressing the lip all at one time. Rotate, rotate, rotate. I want this to have the gradual curve in. Compress, 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 and then measure. Too small. They've all been a little too small. So I've got to gather. I'm going to take some clay from the center, press down, and that should thin it out and widen it out. And then get this lip one more time. Bring it back in, compress, rotate, rotate, check. Gosh, still a little narrow. Okay, I think that's close enough. Wooden knife to the base. That's gonna help me get a wire cutter under there later as I let this dry. And also I see the top of this, and this is why I like these black Molly Sanyour ceramic bats. As I just picked that up, I realized I could compress the surface a little better. So I can pop that right back on. And, you know, if you see little ridges like high, low, now is the time. Some people will try to put this back on and trim it later, but really you just want to take care of it now. And I'm just basically looking that's flat, not little grooves. And then I don't want too sharp of a lip, so I'm going to compress, measure one more. Good. All right. Another one. Another one. 2, 4, 5. That's 5. Okay, YouTube. Thanks for watching me. I'm going to sign off with y'all. Go hop on with Instagram. Whoop. Hopefully I'll see y'all again. Hopefully y'all all come in the studio for a class workshop. Till then. Bye.